Hey guys, this is Brian. I'm back. Haven't done a video in a little while, and I know I didn't do one last week for new comic books. So just because usually I've got school now on Wednesdays, and I don't even get my new comics on Wednesdays, and by the time I get through them and all that, it's Monday, and well, the week is gone. So I just picked up my new books this morning because I had to go to work for something else real quick. Um, Obviously, I haven't had time to read any of these, but I'm just gonna go through them real quick. I'm gonna start off with DC's doing variant covers this month of some of their books, and I think they're called bombshell covers. And as soon as you see them, you'll see why, because they're very reminiscent of nose art on World War II aircraft, usually bombers, um, and plus bombshells are hot chicks, whatnot. So the first one I'm showing you is Superman in Action Comics number 32. And it says Supergirl saving the day and it cuts off. I'm gonna guess that's Metropolis, and it says being related to the most Superman. So it's a beautiful cover, and I think it's all the same person, the same artist doing all of the covers. I'm looking right now for a name on the cover, and I don't see one. I'm sure if you Google it up real quick, you'll find it. But so this is the variant for this week, and I'm not even that into DC, and I think I've more than mentioned that on more than one occasion. But these covers, because I really do enjoy these books, these covers, this art, it's beautiful. Um, One of the guys that I work with mentioned he'd like to see this woman. I'm sorry, that last book was Earth 2, and it's Hawk Girl on the cover. So this is Green Lantern number 32, and these three covers are the first three I believe that are out. And they're amazing. I think they're beautiful. So one of the guys at work mentioned that he thinks that these are all done by the same artist, and he'd like to see what she could do with doing a comic all in this style. He's like, he mentioned that he'd like to see the golden age of DC brought back, done with her art, and I think that could be interesting. I would buy a book. I would buy anything done by this person. Alright, now I've got the second printing of Rye number 1. Digging into Valiant here, by the way. Issue 2, this is cover A. I really wish Valiant would get their stuff together with labeling either, regular cover, variant cover, pull box, cover A, cover B, cover whatever. But here's cover B for the same book. I think I'm gonna drop just having them automatically drop all the variants into my box for me, because when it was just one or two cover, like one or two variants for the Valiant books, it's not so bad. But it seems like with Rye and with Unity, they had like 10 or 12 books variants. So anyways, this is another variant for Rye number 2, and things like this I specifically said I would like them to keep, because you see this is like a mask. You get the little, there's actually holes here, holes for the eyes, and a hole over here. So it's a mask cover. This next book is Quantum and Woody, number 11. I'll be honest, I think I'm going to drop this book altogether. It's just not really, I think their slapstick comedy is starting to be wasted on me. I'm not enjoying it as much as I had hoped, or I was enjoying it. Next book is it's an image book. Wow, surprisingly, I've only got 3 image books this week. It's issue 2 from Adam Frankenstein. I haven't read issue 1 yet. I need to dig into it. I'm way behind on reading comics. Here's Nailbiter number 2. Again, I haven't read issue 1. I need to get into it. Voice in the Dark number 7. I love these covers. I always, from the very first one till now, I think that this is a pretty, the storyline and all that stuff is, it's she's a serial killer and she's trying not to be a bad person, kind of Dexter-ish. But the covers on this book are amazing. I mean, I've gotten to the point where, $3 or $4 for a piece of artwork. I know that, we all know that comic books are mass produced, and you're not getting a unique one-of kind of thing. But for the piece of art alone, sometimes I'm willing to pay for an extra book. or just for the book. This next book is we're digging into Vertigo. Let me check real quick, make sure that's it. Yep, just 2 Vertigo books for me this week, and I can't say enough about how much I enjoy the Vertigo books that I do pick up every month. And this is The Wake. It's issue 9. I cannot wait to get. This is going to definitely be in my read it as soon as I get home from class tonight pile. I love The Wake, and I really am enjoying this book also, Hinterkind. It's issue 8. I love it. I picked this book up on just kind of a whim because I don't think it's going to go anywhere as far as value wise, but because it's kind of oversaturated and whatnot. But it's Vampirella. I believe it's the new Vampirella, but it doesn't say new on the cover. It's issue number 1. There are several copies of this, or several covers of this book. One is a Terry Dodson, and I love Terry Dodson's work, but there's something a little off about the face on the cover for Vampirella that he did. But there are probably at least 5 or 6 different covers for this book, and a lot of them are really beautiful. This one just really kind of caught my eye though. It's a reminiscence of the 70s artwork that fantasy artwork was wrong back then. Up next, we're digging into Marvel, and so the rest of the stack is Marvel. Because you know me, make mine Marvel, but throw in some other good shit every once in a while too. Iron Fist, The Living Weapon, number 3. There's a variant cover for this that I don't think is all that attractive, but it is better looking than this cover. Next up, I've got Origin, number 3. I've been enjoying this book so far. It's really pretty good in my opinion. So far, it's much better than that Age of Ultron nonsense. And here's Mr. Art Adams, one of my all-time favorite artists, and so I'm hoping. So I've noticed so far that there's pretty much an Art Adams variant for all these covers, and I hope it continues until the series is over because I love Art Adams' work. Next up, not one of my favorite books, but I do like the humor in this book, and I'm glad to see that they didn't cancel it when they brought Pete back. I'm glad to see it is still the Spirit Foes of Spider-Man because it's pretty funny. New Warriors number 5. I haven't read the book, haven't even looked inside of it, but so far the first 4 issues I have enjoyed. I do like it. So this cover's not overly attractive in my opinion, and I hope the artwork on the inside is better, but I do like the New Warriors. I don't like this book. I've got it because I haven't canceled it yet. I thought I'd canceled it last month, but I'm not enjoying it. It's just, I can't say anything good about it. The Superior Spider-Man. Nope, it's Miles Morales, The Superior Spider-Man. It's issue number 2. I haven't read number 1 yet. I did read the digital versions of The Ultimate Spider-Man when Miles came around, and I enjoyed those books. So I just need to read these, and hopefully I will enjoy them. Magneto, number 5. I read issue 1. I haven't read the other 3 so far. I guess I need to since I still get it. I thought that the impaling the guy on the street signs in the first issue was, I don't know. I didn't think it was necessary. I think it's Magneto. He could have just made the guy's fillings pop around inside his skull and done away with him that way. I think, you know what, honestly, I think doing something like that with impaling a person in a street like he did, I think that's on a par with beheading somebody and making a video. I think it's kind of Taliban, Al-Qaeda-esque, and I think it's probably over the freaking top for me, in my opinion. Next up, we have Cyclops number 2. I really like the first book, so I'm hoping I'm going to like the second book. Avengers World number 7. I think I'm going to drop this book. The first few issues, first 3 or 4 issues I did read, I didn't like because they're telling each individual from a point of view of a new Avenger, and it's usually the guy on the cover. And like this was issue, I think this was last week or a couple weeks ago, number 6. I haven't read this one yet, but it's kind of annoying that they kind of just focus on one Avenger and their particular point of view, and you don't get to see the rest of the story, and it doesn't really have a lot of continuity, in my opinion. So anyways, this is, I guess, Falcon's big shot. Next up, we get Amazing, Amazing X-Men World War Wendigo. So it looks like there's a lot more Wendigos than there were in Incredible Hulk 180 and 181. And it looks like Wolverine's getting his little ass kicked right there. So, yeah. I'm about over Wolverine at this point. What they're doing with it, they've taken away his healing factor, and where they're taking, I guess they're supposed to be killing him off. Wolverine's an amazing character. He always has been. The problem with it is I think that creators are being pussies and not putting in the hard work of making good story or creating good stories around that character. I think that they're going for the shock value like they did when they removed his adamantium. And on top of that, they're not even paying attention to Marvel history, because I don't give a shit about Origins. Origins came along way, 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 way after Wolverine. I did enjoy Origins, but at the same point, Wolverine's not supposed to have fucking bone claws. From the very start with Wolverine, they've mentioned that he has adamantium claws that were implanted in his forearms. But they want to go and tear out his adamantium, have that Magneto squeeze adamantium out of his pores and give him bone claws. That's just, you're totally ignoring what's come before. And I think that's bullshit. I don't like that they do that. And then when they remove his healing factor, and totally ignore the fact that Wolverine was able to withstand the adamantium laced bones and not get adamantium, sickness from the metal because of his healing factor. They removed his healing factor. He should have died fairly quickly because of the freaking adamantium. I'm sure they got some bullshit excuse that I didn't even notice or didn't read about, but I think it's bullshit when they totally ignore that kind of stuff. Anyway, there's my rant about Wolverine. They can kill the character at this point, and I really don't care. Amazing X-Men Annual #1. It's got Storm on the cover. Marvel's doing this thing, or has been, or occasionally does this thing where they do their annuals and they just kind of throw anybody on it. Although La Roca is not just anybody. I think his work is slipping a little bit. I don't think Storm looks all that attractive. I miss the days when Marvel did, when they did the X-Men, they threw Art Adams on them annuals. Those were the days. Now, these next two books, they're not new comic books. One is a couple weeks old, and the other one's a couple months old. So, Captain Marvel #3. I don't have this out in my pull box, so I totally missed it when it came out, so I had to find it. And I was digging through some back issue bins, and I found Black Widow #1. I've heard good things about the book. I've kind of thumbed through it occasionally when it's on the shelf. I thought I'd give it a shot, so here's #1. So that wraps up my new comic books. And a couple little, fairly recent back issues. So, what else did I do with my afternoon so far? I carried my ass to the used bookstore. And at that used bookstore, I picked up all this shit. So, what did I get? I got, for $1, most of these are $1. If they're not, I'll mention it. I got Havoc and Wolverine Meltdown #1 and Meltdown #4. And this next book cost me $15. It was Batman. I can't see because the sticker's covering it. Because I'm not sure what the actual title of it is. Give me a second on here. Yeah, screw it. I'm not going to bother with it. Anyways, you guys will recognize it if you're at all into comics. It's Batman #1. Harley and Ivy are on the cover. So, yeah, I had to shell out a little bit for this. But, yeah, honestly, this is the animated version of Harley is the version that I prefer. This next book, all I can see of this book is the title, because it's in a plastic bag still. It's still sealed, and it's got covered up. I'm wondering if there's a booby alert coming up. We'll see. So I've never seen this book. No, not really a booby alert. Kind of a lesbian thing going on. So for those of you who've never seen Purgatory, I don't know what issue this is. It's Purgatory Prelude #1. So yeah, she's covered up, but her little friend over here is getting kind of frisky. So anyway, I'm gonna stick this back in its lozenge. You know what? Forget it. I'll just find that I'll get a real bag here. And here it is, a real bag for a comic book. There we go. Putting that aside. So for Preacher, that's the bandwagon I'm jumping on right now. Not really jumping the bandwagon because I got most of the books back in the day when they were on the shelves. Problem with that is I didn't get into the Preacher until I read the first 2 trades. So I'm missing probably the first 15 issues. So I found number 8, found number 9, found number 10. These all appear to be in really good shape, especially since at this particular bookstore, people are not overly kind to the books when they're thumbing through them. Found issue 11, and I found issue 12. All of those were $1 a piece. Now we're getting into what I think is probably one of the better comics from the early part of the first decade of this century, and it's Ruse #1, put up by CrossGen Comics. It's set in Victorian era kind of planet city thing where this guy is basically Sherlock Holmes and this chick is kind of his Watson. So, and I really like this book from back when I read it, and I'm missing a few issues. I don't remember which ones, so for $1 a piece, I just bought every one that they had. So I have issue 2, Ruse #3, number 4, number 5. See the creepy eyeballs in the paint? Number 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. This is a really nice cover, I think. Hot chick riding on a dragon with a knife or a dagger. Pretty cool. 18, another hot chick. 19, it's a key issue because it says so on a cover. 20, 21, 22, and 24. Now, like I said, I have most of these already. I am missing a few, so I just snatched up all of them because I really don't remember. That being said, I'm open to trading some of these off for something that you have that you don't want. So if you're interested in any of these Ruse books, you know, get in touch with me. Now, next up is a little more Image stuff. The Red Star, I picked up number 3. This was I really like the artwork in this book. I'm not sure if I already have these issues or not either. So again, if you're interested in these, and I've already got copies, that I've got to go through my collection that I had at my mom's house and find out exactly what I've got in it. So anyways, this is the Red Star, number 3 and number 4. These are pretty cool books in my opinion. Now this next title I snatched up solely because because the cover's really cool in my opinion, really beautiful. I've never even heard of it, but it's an IDW book. Covers by Rebecca A. Wrigley, or Raw, as she signs it. So it's a Rogue Angel, Teller of Tall Tales, and it's got, in addition to, I'm guessing is the main character, it's got a picture of Mark Twain, and I don't know who the other guy is, might be, I don't know. Anyways, it's Rogue Angel, Teller of Tall Tales, issue number 1. I think it's a beautiful cover, the artwork's awesome, so that's why I picked this one up. And because I picked that one up, I picked up the rest of them that I could find. This is number 2. And again, number 3 at $1 a book. who cares? I mean, I'll read it. If they suck, I'll try to move them on eBay. And here's issue 5. You can't really, like, the shitty books that or bags that they got them in. Yeah, so I'm in the process now of waiting on an order of E. Gerber bags and boards. So maybe next time I show books, they might look more presentable. So this next title I bought for my son, my oldest kid, because he likes Edgar Allan Poe, and the title is Poe. And I'm guessing that's Edgar Allan Poe there. So I bought these books for him. And these were actually $2 a piece. Now, got a little back age, mostly Silver Age goodness for you. Got the Amazing Spider-Man right here. And it's issue number 78. And it's one of, my opinion, the most underrated or underused Spider-Man villains. The Prowler. I guess I like the Prowler so much because my first introduction to the Prowler was in Amazing Spider-Man 3 something when McFarlane was drawing him, and you know, anything with a cape and McFarlane's pencils were just outrageous. So that might have something to do with why I like the Prowler so much. As far as I know, he's only been used kind of like in this issue 79, and I think I already had that one. Just had to get another one. And there's another early, double-digit Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man with the Prowler, and then he was used up in the McFarlane area, and I don't recall. Maybe I just don't have them, but I don't remember seeing the Prowler in that many other Amazing Spider-Man comics or any Spider-Man comics. So I think there's a lot of potential for that character that's just not being tapped into. Now, we all know that I'm hard at work on filling in my Avengers run, so I've got some Avengers books here. I got issue 51. I got these all at the shop that I work at. So it's 51. This next book is in pretty good shape. It's 63. I don't think I paid more than, I think I paid $18 for this one. I think I paid 12 for the last one. I think I paid someplace around 15 for this next one. It's 84. It's kind of a lackluster issue with this dork here, Archon. He's one of the most worthless villains I've read in Avengers. And I'm not overly fond of Quicksilver, but this book is in really great shape. It's got a lot of cover gloss, so I like it. Then I picked up, this is an Avengers book, but it's not Silver Age at all. It's the Marvel Suits, the Real Heroes, the Men and Women of the U.S. Military. So I picked this up. As you can see, it cost me $5, whereas I should have found it at the freaking exchange when I was in the Navy. So I think I would have got it for free. But anyways, here's that. Oh yeah, and its guest stars a Fantastic Four. Then I got issue number 200, which is in really nice shape. It's got a thick spine, and you can see that spine's not all boogered up like a lot of them that are thicker like this from this era got. So it's issue 200. I already have it, but I don't have one in this kind of condition, so it's a big upgrade for that book for me. I'm looking around real quick to see if there's anything else that I got that I didn't show or haven't shown. I don't think there is, but so that's my new comic haul for the week and my used bookstore haul and a few back issues. Thanks for sticking around for the 24 minutes that it took me to do this. You guys have a good day, and see you later.